Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. This is Vishaka Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Vishaka Mataji. Hare Krishna. So today's speaker is His Grace Shastrakrit Prabhuji. Prabhuji will speak on the topic of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, verse number 1 onwards. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much Prabhuji for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. I now hand over the call.
Thank you, Mataji. Your voice is breaking up, but I guess I will start. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. All glories to the assembled devotees. So this is Madhya Lila chapter 24, chapter entitled The 61 Explanations of the Atma Rama Verse. This is the chapter summary of this 24th chapter. The following summary of this chapter is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya. According to Sri Sanatana Goswami's request, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the well-known Srimad Bhagavatam verse beginning, Atma Ramascha Monaya. He explained this verse in 61 different ways. He analyzed all the words and described each word with its different connotations. Adding the words cha and api, he described all the different meanings of the verse. He then concluded that different classes of transcendentalists, jnanis, dharmis, yogis, utilize this verse according to their own interpretation. But if they would give up this process and surrender to Krishna as indicated by the verse itself, they would be able to comprehend the real meaning of the verse. In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu narrated a story about how a great sage Narada converted a hunter into a great Vaishnava. And how this was appreciated by Narada's friend, Parvat Muni. Sanatana Goswami then offered a prayer to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. After this, Lord gave Sanatana Goswami a synopsis of Hari Bhakti Vilas, which Sanatana Goswami later developed into the guiding principle of all Vaishnavas. This is verse 1. Atma Rameti Padya Raksha Arthamasunya Prakshayasan Jagatamo Jaharavya Sri Chaitanya Dayachala. Translation: all glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who acted as the eastern horizon where the sun of the Atma Rama verse rose. He manifested its rays in the form of different meanings and thus eradicated the darkness of the material world. May he protect the universe. verse number 2. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. Translation: all glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Lord Dvaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Tabhe Sanatana Prabhura Charane Dariya Purna Rapi Kahe Kichu Vinaya Kariya. Translation: this is text number 3. Thereafter, Sanatana Goswami clasped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and humbly submitted the following petition. Purve suniyachon tumi sarva bhauma sthane ekas sloke athara artha kara kairacha vyakhyani. Sanatana Goswami said, my Lord, I have heard that previously at the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you explained the Atma Rama verse in Atma Ram. This is text number 5. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Api Urukrame Purvanti Ahaitu Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Hari. Translation: those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. Report. This is the famous Atma Rama verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1:7-10. So if anybody wants to do some homework and read Srila Prabhupada's purport on this verse, it's a long, beautiful purport. It's First Canto, 7th chapter, verse number 10. That's where this verse comes from. This is verse number 6. Ascharya Suniya Mora Utkanita Mana Kripa Kari Kaha Yadi Judaya Sravana. Translation: I have heard this wonderful story and am therefore very inquisitive to hear your explanation again. If you would kindly repeat it, I would be very pleased to hear. So Sanatana Goswami is again requesting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to please explain the verse that he previously explained to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Text number 7, verse 7. Prabhu kahe ami vatula amara vachane Sarvabhauma vatula taha satya kari mane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I am one mad man and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is another. Therefore he took my words to be the truth. Text 8. Kiba pralapilana kichu nahika smarane tumara sanga bale yadi kichu haya mane. This is the translation, I do not recall what I spoke in that connection, but if something comes to my mind due to association with you, I shall explain it. Text number 9. Sahaja amar kichu artha nahi bhashe Poma sabara sange bala e kichu prakase. Translation. Generally by myself I cannot give an explanation, but by the strength of your association, something may manifest itself. This text 10. Ekadasa pada e sloke sunirmala pratak nana arthapade kara jalamala. Translation and purport for this verse. Verse number 10. Translation. There are 11 clear words in this verse, but when they are studied separately, various meanings glitter from each word. Purport. 11 separate words are Atmarama. Number 1 is Atmarama, 2 is Cha, 3 is Munaya, 4 is Nirgrantha, 5 is Api, 6 is Urukrame, 7 is Kurvanti, 8 is Ahitukim, 9 is Bhaktim, 10 is Itam Bhuta Guna, and 11 is Hari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will explain the different connotations and imports of these words. Om Jnana Timurandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Budle Srimate Devamrita Swaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Budle Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gauravaktavanna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So generally speaking, Srimad Bhagavatam is known by very high-class people, and they discussed among very high-class and fortunate circles. But somehow we have given access to such an exalted Purana, Bhagavata Purana, which was given to us by Vyasadeva in his maturity. And what to speak of reading and discussing Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta. That's makes us most fortunate. And to understand Bhagavatam through the words that emanates from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to understand Bhagavatam through the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, makes it more accessible and sweeter. It's so wonderful. Just like so much can be learned. One of the things repeated over and over is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's humility. So he's saying to Sanatana Goswami, even though he spoke the verse, Atmarama verse, to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in 18 different ways. Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya spoke the verse to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 9 times. But without touching that, he spoke in 18 different ways, which is pretty exalted. I mean, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya surrendered his life And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came to this conclusion that only if somebody is God himself, he can explain in so many different ways. So that was a changing point in his life. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was asked by Sanatana Goswami, he says, "Oh, actually, I don't know what I said. I can't remember what I said." So this is one of the opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is renunciation and extreme humility. Generally speaking, a conditioned soul, we want to always blame others whenever we are wrong, and whenever there is something wonderful happened, even if we didn't quite do it, like somehow or other we want to get the credit for it. I'm not talking about you all exalted devotees. I'm just talking about myself. So this is the nature of the conditioned soul. One time, one disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, he said to Prabhupada, why I'm getting so many devotees blaming me, I'm getting so many, feedback, and I'm getting criticized unnecessarily. And Prabhupada said, that's because in your last life, you took credit for things that you did not do. Therefore, in this life, you're getting blamed for things that you did not do. So this is the nature of the conditioned soul. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing extreme humility. He's giving all credit to Sanatana Goswami, all credit to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he's quoting himself. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He could say anything he wants, but over and over he's referring to Srimad Bhagavatam and explaining from the Vedic text. So just if we can understand this and imbibe this much, our spiritual life will make so much progress. This humility and giving credit to all other devotees and always careful about what we speak and where we speak from, and make sure it's authorized and we're repeating the words of our spiritual master. So just these few qualities, we can make so much advancement in spiritual life. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it's explained in the Chaitanya Caritamrta that he was actually one of the main branches of the Chaitanya tree. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, it's explained that he is Brihaspati himself. Brihaspati, as you all know, the teacher, the guru of the demigods. So you can imagine how powerful he is. So he's appearing in Chaitanya Lila to show us, even if you're Brihaspati, you're still subservient to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there's so many pastimes, and they're very special, that took place between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was actually an older grihastha gentleman with wife and children and like this, son and daughter. And it's explained that he went to Mithila to study Nyaya, logic. And when he went there, what happened was you're not allowed to copy or borrow any of the textbooks, because those priests in Mithila, they wanted the monopoly. so they wouldn't let anyone write down or borrow any of the books. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so powerful, pretty much he memorized all the books that was available there, both Vedanta according to the Mayavadi Vedanta, and Nyaya, logic. So this way he was super powerful. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes from a Brahmana family, and he was actually a friend of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grandfather. So he was a pretty amazing personality actually. So much has been written about him. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was living in his later stage of his life. He was actually living in Jagannath Puri, still as a householder, and he was teaching. He was teaching, Vedanta, Nyaya, like this, but according to the impersonal view, Mayavadi interpretation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually going to Vrindavan, but his mother requested him. His mother said, "Oh, if you go to Vrindavan, I will never hear about you. But why don't you stay in Nilachala, where Jagannath resides, and this way, she said, Orissa and Bengal are like, the two rooms in the same house. So this way, I will actually get to hear about you more." So this way, under the request of Sachi Mata, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to stay in Nilachala. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there, and in ecstasy, in bhava, Mahabhava, when he entered to see, take darshan of Jagannath, he pretty much went into trance, and he saw Krishna himself along with his brother Balaram and Subhadra. So he fainted. So those of us that been to Jagannath Puri, we can see near the Garuda Stamba, that's one of the entrances, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fainted, and he was pretty tall. And he was very tall, more than like 7 foot. So pretty much he covered the space where the priests, the pandas, are walking back and forth, bringing all the preparations, offerings, bhoga to Jagannath. So this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they thought, who is this pilgrim? It's become, a disturbance. Because sometimes people would come and they pretend like they're fainting, they're, in ecstasy, they're in Krishna Bhava and all these things. One time they asked Prabhupada, because in Indian temples, the villagers would come and they would just roll on the ground and they faint and they create a scene. And Prabhupada jokingly said, you should kick them. Kick them till they get up. And Prabhupada said, 1 minute they're rolling in ecstasy, next minute they wake up and ask for a bidi, ask for a cigarette. So this is what's going on even back in the day. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fainted, they thought, this person is being a disturbance. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya happened to be there. And being the scholar of the Vedas, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya could see that the features of this person and this complexion of this person and the way he is in trance is not ordinary. So he put a little cotton swab in his nostrils, and sure enough, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was alive, and the cotton swab moved very slightly, and it confirmed the doubt of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that this person is in samadhi, is actually a very exalted person. So with the help, since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so tall and heavy, one time I saw this documentary of this tall people. They were 7 foot something, and they kept saying over and over, this world is not designed for tall people over 7 foot. So they were feeling inconvenience wherever they went, in the planes and in cars, and then they tried to do shopping. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he comes, and he's so beautiful, how tall he is, and his limbs and his complexion, and it's not like the burdensome features like the documentary was showing of people of this world. So because he was so heavy and tall, with the help of some of his associates, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya actually carried Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before the guards hurt him or something, to his home. Actually, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home, as many of us know, is very near to Jagannath temple. And there's actually a tunnel going from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house to Jagannath Puri. So the services can go on. The darshan, you can take darshan even if some Muslims are invading or something is happening. Still, there were so much planning how the Lord's service can go on in all situations. So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took him to his home, and then the devotees, the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, found out from the guards where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken, and then they also joined there. And then when the devotees came and they did loud kirtan, and this way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back to consciousness. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was actually very happy to see him come back to consciousness, and they exchanged sweet words, how Mahaprabhu's maternal grandfather, Nilambara Chakravarti, was actually a friend of his father, Sarvabhauma's father. Like this, the exchange, and then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told him, your name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, is actually very good name, but you have been initiated into the Bharati line of sannyasis, which is only a moderately good reputation. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told him, if you like, I can get you reinitiation in a more prestigious line. And when the devotees, and also Gopinath Acharya, who is the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was a Vaishnava, who was a devotee, he didn't like that. How can you go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not depend on any external formalities. So, but Lord Chaitanya didn't mind, being an older person that knew his family member, like that he had some special affection for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So he told the devotees not to argue with him, since he's so senior and he's only advising him out of affection. And also, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told him, you're so handsome, you're so beautiful. You can imagine how beautiful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must have been, and he was young. And he's taken this vows of sannyasi at such an early age. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was concerned. He said, unless you study Vedanta diligently, there's great risk of you falling down from your sannyas position. So this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offered him to teach Vedanta philosophy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being humble and respectful, he agreed the invitation. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya actually spoke to him Vedanta philosophy out of love and affection. He spoke to him, he wanted to teach him so he can be strong in his sannyas vows. He spoke to him for 7 days. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not say a word. Again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing us how, sometimes when we are teaching Krishna consciousness, it shouldn't be just like a monologue. We should also let people talk and, get to know them and be personal and be respectful, not discredit whatever they have immediately. When people become devotees, they automatically will understand we should talk Prajalpa, we shouldn't have false ego like that, but not like day one you meet somebody on book distribution or something and then, you don't let them talk or you don't give them any credit, then that's not the example Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting himself. So he didn't speak for 7 days. And then after 7 days, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked him, you're not saying anything, you're not asking any question. Sometimes that could also be frustrating, like when you're addressing a group of devotees or people and, even if they challenge you, that's pretty enlivening. Or if they ask you nice questions, and that's also very enlivening. But if they don't say anything, and you don't know whether they're interested or not, and you don't know whether they understand you or not, and so it kind of, kills the environment. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was quiet, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was getting agitated, like, the study of Vedanta is very demanding. And the student who wishes to understand this properly generally, is obliged to ask questions and to clarify, but you're not saying anything. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, actually, I understand Vedanta. I understand Vedanta very clearly, but I don't understand your interpretation of the Vedanta. And Prabhupada would call them Vedantis, not Vedanti. Vedanti means like toothless. And Prabhupada would jokingly say this Mayavadis, this Vedantis, so-called Vedantis, they say everything is Maya except the nonsense they speak. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, I understand Vedanta. It's like a bright sunshine, but I don't understand your interpretation of the Vedanta, which is like the dark cloud that's covering the sun. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya didn't like that comment. He felt insulted and somewhat angry, so he started to debate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the meaning of the word Brahman and how Brahman is without form or qualities, and he's giving so many scriptures of evidence. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also spoke, and with logical and scriptural references, he explained, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, that how Brahman possessed form and qualities. The Lord, after giving so many examples, he cited this verse that we were just reading earlier from Srimad Bhagavatam. Atmaramascha munayo nirgrantha pi urukrame kurvanti haitu kim bhaktim itam bhuta gunohari. That, even those silent sages who are fully satisfied and free from bondage, and they still perform costless devotional service to Lord Hari, whose pastimes are wonderful, for such is the glorious nature of his quality. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, he gave so many explanations, and Srila Prabhupada would also give us so many examples of the 4 Kumaras. They were liberated saints, but they became personalists when they smelled the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of Vishnu. Sukadeva Goswami as well. He was fully Brahman realized. That's why it says, Sukadeva Goswami says, read Bhagavatam before you're liberated, and go on reading Bhagavatam even after you're liberated. So, the service, the devotional service to Sri Krishna is so attractive, and it's millions of times more juicy than dry Brahman philosophy and trying to merge into Brahman. So, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya already given 9 explanations on the verse, and Mahaprabhu, without touching them, he explained it in 18 different ways. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was astounded and speechless. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya began slowly to understand that, Mahaprabhu is not an ordinary human being, but the Supreme Lord himself. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya started to regret his ignorance, and finally fell down at the Lord's feet and begged him for forgiveness. And the Lord was so kind that not only he forgave him, he gave him the darshan of this Sadbhuj. He gave him darshan of with 6 hands. This is 2 hands, like Krishna holding flute with the blackish, like rain cloud, like arms. 2 arms holding bow and arrow, like Lord Rama, with a greenish complexion. And 2 arms was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the sannyasi, holding his sannyasi danda and his water pot, kamandal. This way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw the Lord was as brilliant as millions of suns, and he fell down and fainted. So, after seeing this divine manifestation, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya actually wrote like hundreds of Sanskrit slokas in glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's exalted position. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wouldn't like to hear them, and some of them he even tore the palm leaves that Sarvabhauma wrote on. But still, the devotees were so expert, they memorized them and they kept them. So this famous sloka, most of us know, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartam Eka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradhari Kripam Buddhiryastam Aham Prabhadya. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ocean of transcendental mercy, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us detachment, real knowledge, and his own devotional service. And this one also, Kalan Nashtam Bhakti Yogam Nijamya Praduksh Kartum Krishna Chaitanya Nama Avirbhutas Tasya Padhara Vinde Gadam Gadam Liyate Chitta Bringa. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has taken the name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, has appeared to reveal the ancient system of devotional service to himself, which had almost been lost due to the influence of time. I pray that the honeybee of my mind will deeply drink the nectar of his lotus feet. So these slokas are from Caitanya Caritamrta and then Caitanya Chandrodaya Nataka. So this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became an exalted Vaishnava. One time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came very early morning and gave Sarvabhauma some prasad, and without even bathing or washing his mouth or having not worshipped his deity, he just honored the prasad. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy to see that how much faith Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has in the Mahaprasad. Unless someone is a devotee, they will not have so much faith. And he just chanted some slokas, some prayers in reverence, and honored the prasad. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, once he became a devotee, he wanted to change a word from the Srimad Bhagavatam, from this famous sloka, Tattena Kampam Susumikshamana Bunjana Evatma Kritam Vipakam Hridvag Vapubir Vidadam Namaste Jivetayo Mukti Padesa Dayabhak. That's what it says. Bhagavatam, Brahma is praying anyone who tolerates all kinds of sufferings and goes on serving Krishna, thinking I deserve worse, but I'm only getting a token of my punishment I deserve. And such a person is eligible for liberation. Mukti Padesa Dayabhak. But then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya didn't like the word mukti anymore, so he wanted to change it to bhakti Padesa Dayabhak, saying like such a person who tolerates and go on serving will be eligible for bhakti. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, no, we cannot change any words of the Bhagavatam like that. And Mahaprabhu, when he was leaving for South India, when he was traveling for South India, it was actually Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that told him, actually, please meet with Ramananda Roy. Please meet with him. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, he's a good friend of mine, but he's an exalted Vaishnava. But in the past, I couldn't understand him, and I would make fun of him because he was a pure devotee and I was not, so I couldn't understand what he was saying. But now I think back and now I can understand what he was trying to say to me. And, by your mercy, now I'm able to understand how great this Vaishnava philosophy is and how great this person is, Ramananda Roy. So he was taking Mahaprabhu to meet with Ramananda Roy, and then Mahaprabhu did under his recommendation and their conversation. There's so much to learn from that. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was also the guru of King Prataparudra. And while Mahaprabhu was traveling, he kept talking to Maharaj Prataparudra about the Lord so much that that king became a devotee, and he developed so much attraction for the Lord. And even though the Lord wouldn't see the king immediately, but because of the devotee's recommendation and because of the desire that the king gets blessing, Mahaprabhu gave him mercy and blessing not only to him and to his children and family, but disguised. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come to his home to eat for the whole month of Chaturmasya one time. But Mahaprabhu refused. He said, I'm a sannyasi, I cannot take such invitation. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, at least come for 15 days of the month. And Mahaprabhu said, no. And he said, at least please come for 5 days. And Mahaprabhu agreed just to come one day. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya cooked such an amazing feast, and he wanted to feed the Lord. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya knew his son-in-law, Amoha, was an envious person. Sometimes we find this even among devotee circles, like there are some personalities. They have a problem for every solution, and they're ready to criticize about everyone, whatever anyone is doing. Even if the devotees are serving, they still find fault. So Amoha, actually Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was guarding the door with a stick, make sure Amoha doesn't come. But somehow Amoha snuck in, and he saw the leaf of banana leaf where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prasadam was placed, and he was about to honor. Then he said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what kind of sannyasi is this? You're eating so much. This is terrible. So you can imagine how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife must have felt to insult a guest like that, not only just an ordinary guest, but the Supreme Personality of God. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was chasing after him with a stick to beat him. And his wife was beating her chest and crying, said, what a horrible son-in-law I have. It's better if he dies and my daughter becomes a widow, like this. So, but this Amoha escaped. But then, due to his offense, he got this severe disease of cholera. Mahaprabhu didn't think much of it himself. He just laughed it off, trivial criticism. And he just told Sarvabhauma and his wife, don't worry about it. But Amoha got cholera, and he was actually very ill just within a day. And Sarvabhauma and his wife began fasting. And they were all of a sudden, such a beautiful occasion turned into a reversal, where the son-in-law is about to die, and he offended the Lord, and they couldn't please the guest, and so they just felt so bad. They just started fasting. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being all merciful, he went to Amoha, and he put his hand in Amoha's chest and said, oh, you're a Brahmana. Your heart is supposed to be like holy place where Krishna can come and sit. It has to be clean. And he asked him, why have you allowed this chandala of envy to enter your heart and you become contaminated? But he told him, you're so fortunate because you are associated with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. All your sins have been cleansed. So please, he told Amoha, get up and chant the names of Krishna and be happy. Like this, he relieved him of this disease. Amoha woke up and he started chanting, and symptoms of ecstatic love manifested in his body. And he remembered his offensive words to the Lord, and in regret, he began to slap his own face, himself, repeatedly on the cheeks until the face was swollen. And Gopinath Acharya stopped him. And Lord said to Amoga that he was very dear to him because of his relationship with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And the Lord said, not only you, even the servants are dear. Even the dog is dear to me. So, basically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, even a dog of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is so dear to me. So how much affection I have for his relatives. Then the Lord went to Sarvabhauma's house and asked Sarvabhauma and his wife to forgive their son-in-law who committed some offense out of immaturity. So like this, so many pastimes took place between the Lord and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Lord would actually praise Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's position in Chaitanya Caritamrta, saying like, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya taught me the large extent of discipline and devotion to the Lord. And through him I've learned that, love of Krishna is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures, like this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this verse, very beautiful verse, and how from that verse so many pastimes took place in Chaitanya Caritamrta. So I will stop here. If any of the exalted Vaishnavas or Vaishnavis, all of you have any questions, or if you like to add anything or correct me, or please feel free.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Such a beautiful class. And just the whole glorification of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his relationship with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thank you, Prabhuji, for, just recapping it and telling us once again, the glories of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And now, starting on this wonderful chapter, such a deep subject matter. So now we are looking forward for this, beautiful verse that Mahaprabhu explained. And thank you for setting up that stage and setting up that scene. So grateful to you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanvat Pranam. All blessed to Shri Prabhupada, blessed to Guru Maharaj. Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class. I had a query in this, Prabhu. We are reading the Chaitanya Caritamrta, and in that yesterday we read that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took the sannyasa order from Keshav Bharati, who was an Mayavadi sannyasi. So, so could you please explain it more? In that explanation it was written that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want to distinguish between the sampradayas, and that is the reason he took it for the common people to understand. But again, in this I had a confusion that the Mayavadi sannyasis are the Ek-dandi sannyasis and the Gaudiya Sampradaya are the Tridanda sannyasis. So what was how was it? Did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu become a Ekadandi sannyasi or a Tridandi sannyasi? I got confused in that.
Yeah. He became a Ekadandi sannyasi, and he took this sannyas from this Bharati Sampradaya because back in his time that was the most prestigious line, and that everybody recognized. Because as you know the history, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this world to deliver the souls, but then as a grihastha, these grammar students were making offenses to him. So he said, let me take sannyas in this prestigious line of sannyasis, Bharati Sampradaya, then at least people will recognize me and give me obeisances, and this way they will make progress. In other words, It's just like in the modern day, if, a devotee goes to like IIT or UPenn or Yale or Oxford, and then everybody's like, all the materialistic people, they let them in, come and speak in Google and Oracle and like this. So it was just a technique that Mahaprabhu used so that people will take him more seriously. So he did take Caitantya sannyas, but then later during his travels, Nityananda Prabhu broke it in 3 places and made him into Tridhandi sannyasi, something like that. So, yeah, that was the simple reason that back then this, nobody took Vaishnavas very seriously, and there was very few Vaishnavas. That's the reason he appeared, due to the call of Advaita Acharya to come and re-establish and make Vaishnavas, spread Vaishnava Siddhanta.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much for explaining it in detail. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Prabhu, one
Hare
question.
Yes.
Prabhuji, what is the context that Sanatana Goswami is asking more explanation from Mahaprabhu on this verse, Prabhu?
Well, if I remember correctly, he didn't ask for more explanation. Even the Mahaprabhu will give more explanation. He just said, I heard this happened between you and Sanatana Goswami, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So he was just wanted to hear about it. It's just like, sometimes we meet our guru or some senior Swami or something like that, and then you ask them, Maharaj, can you please share this last time, how you met Obama or how you met Modi or what happened, how, like that. They're just churning the nectar.
Okay. Got it, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
you're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Shastrakrit Prabhu. This is Vishaka Dasi. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada. Thank you so much for a very nice class. It's been so long since I've heard your classes. It's so nice.
Thank you. Nice to hear you as well.
Yeah. Please give
my
your wife. I just wanted to add one thing that I when I hear my Gurudev give these stories that I thought that you would appreciate. That when Lord Chaitanya is listening to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya talk on Vedanta, and he doesn't say anything for 5 days, that Krishna always reciprocates with everyone. So when the impersonalist is speaking Vedanta to Lord Chaitanya, he's impersonal with them. He doesn't say anything. Because Krishna reciprocates with us. So, anyway, thank you for the class. Will you keep doing the classes for several days, or how does it go?
The devotees schedule me, and depending on my seva loving, I shamelessly agree. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Vishakha Mataji. So pleasure to have you on the conference call. I'm so happy.
You.
I'm Kirti Dasundri.
Hare Krishna, Kirti.
You know me, right? I'm a Krish mom.
Yes.
Right. So the thing is that every day we have this conference call from 11 to 12, and we have different speakers coming up on realization on Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta. So, so every time there's a different speaker. So Shastrakrit Prabhu is in the rotation, right? So once in a week or once in 12 days, we approach different speakers, and they are in a loop, and they share their realizations on Chaitanya Caritamrta. So that's how it goes.
Oh, very nice. Okay, thank you for
explaining. We are really fortunate that, whenever we approach Shastrakrit Prabhu, he always says yes out of his humility. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so do we have any more questions, any comments, any realizations? Okay, if not so, then let's end up this conference call. Thank you once again, Shastrakrit Prabhu, for enlightening us with your wonderful session. Let's pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhascha.